to take keen interest in what children are taught in schools. He says Zambia, being a Christian nation, it needs to ensure that the values are inculcated in the teachings of the pupils.
We are calling for a withdrawal of that whole program. That is to say that there are aspects of the rollout of comprehensive sexuality education that actually build ground for the more rapid and general acceptance of certain practices, such as, in this case, responding to the question, homosexuality, same-sex marriage, and these kinds of activities, which in our country, based on our values, Christian values, as well as cultural norms that we've had for many, many years, are contrary. Those things are contrary to the norms that we have adopted. We know that the education sector plays a key role in shaping the future of our children. But from a biblical angle, the primary location for setting stage for where the children go is in the family.
Comprehensive Sexual Education CSE is a sex education instruction method based on curriculum that aims to give pupils, students the knowledge, attitudes, skills and values to make appropriate and healthy choices in their sexual lives. The church becomes the second to publicly denounce CSE, with the first being Chief Chitimukulu, who told the Minister of Guidance and Religious Affairs to advocate for the removal of this program in schools. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Wayatandika kamwaiche walaka kopa na foni wakapera na kamutuka muntu mkalamba pakuti chiboneke kwati omwaiche upokere NRC aba bomfi twatuma aba bomfi babuteko bantu bafikukire nsakwe aba ishiba lero balela nshanya n'abafyashi kuti bamono kuti omwana oyikire kine taningiro kupoka akamutu kanshi balya tulero mbafe abantu kuti abeposa kwa mano pantu kuli omuntu mwine fe mwina Zambia uwa kwata mano aya kwanira yasano nga wasanga pa chitike fe musango fida kuleta umuntu ula kuli bakapokora wamucha report tekuya mukumuteka muchi bansemo alako pamwebere abana nabapoka ma NRC nomanishinisha wapanga kulalanga fiwa abantu kutira abantu bale mono kwe bati abaraba bomfale bomba tabale bombe milimo bulugwe ero nangumu kuchecho winga fa kulembo mwana munono olo bakala lembesha nga kuvota bana bakala lembesha kuvota na mwana checheta mubushe kuti mbaisa mono muntu ale bapera akamutwe bamona kwena ta chiringene bamulemba kuti akavote teti chibombe bonse aba bantu basambirira bachenjera so kashinga wale mpero mwaiche kuti yo limbe shuko mukakwata mapota ngiti chakafo iyo elo na bali bobufusano muntu olingiro kulembesha okusala afuro kwa temyaka 18 ukupaka na NRC ni 16 so ngawase ndo wa 10 years ukamtwala so kulomba fe abantu kuti let's be patriotic citizens. If you're a patriotic citizen and you see something that is irregular, you have to report to appropriate authorities so that action can be taken. That's how it should be. You don't go to parade children. You don't give them NRCs belonging to elderly people as a way of discrediting government. It won't work. And we are going to start pursuing those characters. We are able to investigate. Our officers are now equipped to follow through, to trail those that could be posting those things.
Mr. Speaker, according to parliamentary procedure and practice, all business that is not concluded before the end of a session lapses and cannot be continued with in the issuing session unless the House otherwise directs.
The Constitution Amendment Bill number 10 of 2019 has been brought back to Parliament. This was after Vice President Inonge Wina moved a motion that 8 bills be brought back onto the order paper that were not concluded in the previous sitting, in line with Standing Order number 126-1. After the debate, the Speaker of the National Assembly announced the restoration of the 8 bills into the House. But this did not come easy, as leader of the opposition Jack Mwimbo took to the floor to discredit the bill, which he insists is a dead bill aimed at infringing the rights of the Zambian people in all sense. He says the UPND as a party will not support the bill. According to Honorable Mwimbo, the bill has lapsed and cannot be debated upon.
Mr. Speaker, after reinstating this particular bill on the order paper, there was a lapse on the part of government pertaining to this particular bill. They left the bill to lapse on the 4th of June 2020. That is what happened. As far as we are concerned as UPND, Mr. Speaker, this bill died on the 4th of June. There was an attempt. There was an attempt by the Minister of Justice when he wrote a letter to request Parliament to allow him to debate the bill on the 30th of June. Mr. Speaker, you cannot extend a bill that has already lapsed. It had died on the 4th of June.
But Patriotic Front Parliamentary Deputy Chief Whip Tutu Anguluwe insists the bill is not dead and stands the chance to be debated.
You can go. Sit, we answer. We have to answer you. We have to answer you.
Point of order. Point of order.
It is not correct to state, as Honorable Mwimbo has stated, that bill number 10 died, or any other bill that wasn't concluded.
Justice Minister Given Lubinda, who is the custodian of the bill, also clarified that bringing back the bill that were not concluded is a democratic stance that is commendable.
Notwithstanding the fact that it is instructive that such orders would be put without even a motion being put. What our honor is doing is actually being extremely democratic and extremely transparent. There is therefore no reason whatsoever for us to even waste time over a procedural matter such as this.
The House has since restored 8 bills, among them Bill 10, the National Forensic Bill, Planning and Budgeting Bill, among others. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Thank you very much. So those are some of the stories that we thought we could remind you on. Those are stories that happened in 2021 and of course in 2020 on this particular day, the 18th of September, on those particular years. Now let's move on. Let's get to what is happening right now and what is making the stories right now. We call this segment the Emerging Stories segment, where we give you stories of what our reporters are working on. And these are the stories that we expect to make a feature in our 1930 news on Camnet TV. So we do expect that some of the stories that we will be informing you about now, the details of those particular stories will be coming to your way at 1930 this particular evening during our main news. And if you are still wondering as to where you can catch us for our main news, it's channel 274 on DSTV and 25 on GoTV, and of course on Topstar we are on channel 106, and that is Camnet TV. We are also live on our Facebook page. You can watch our news on our Facebook page, and of course not forgetting our YouTube channel, which is also Camnet TV. Now let's get into our first story of the day as we look at what is happening around the country right now. Now, government says it is gross misinformation to suggest that former President Edgar Lungu was stopped from traveling by President Hakainde Hichilema. Now, Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Thabo Kawana says the travels of the office of the former president have nothing to do with State House or President, but Cabinet Office. Let's have a look at this.
gross misinformation on the part of commentators to suggest that the former president, the former 6th Republican president, Mr. Lungu, or President Lungu, was stopped from traveling by His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Far from it, the travels to do with the office of the former president have got nothing to do with State House or the president. The office of the former president deals directly with that of cabinet, and therefore cabinet office functions together with the office of the former president. It is also important to understand that the office of the former president is a constitutional office, and therefore it carries with it a prescribed decorum. It carries with it prescribed protocols, and it carries with it prescribed security. This security is at different levels. The security of the person. There's also security of state secrets. Therefore, in as far as security matters are concerned, the office of the former president ought to inform cabinet office in advance so that security details are catered for. This requires also officers traveling ahead of the former president.
Thank you very much. That is our first story on the Emerging Stories segment, and that is a story talking to the fact, talking to the issue to do with former President Edgar Lungu, who was scheduled to travel to Korea but was blocked. Now let's move on to the next story, and this one says Patriotic Front Information and Publicity Chairperson Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba has announced that the party has filed a complaint to the Zambia police to investigate the criminal action of malicious damage and criminal trespass of the premises following the attack on the PF Secretariat. Now, Mr. Mwamba says the actions by Matero Member of Parliament, Mao Sampa, were illegal and that the party will take administrative and criminal punitive actions. Now, he says he said this shortly after inspecting the damage and vandalism done by Matero Member of Parliament, Mao Sampa, and his horde of youths that violently attacked the party secretariat on Friday, the 15th of September 2023. Let's have a look at this.
They even know the group leader, a gentleman called Rashid from Museko, and his UPND cadres are the ones that accompanied Honorable Mao Sampa. They were given T-shirts, Edgar Lungu T-shirts. They covered their faces, but later, they removed their faces, and our youths could identify them, that these are mostly, the bulk of them were UPND members shipped from Museko. The party has reported this matter to Lusaka Central Police. We also followed it up with a letter to the Inspector General of Police. You've seen most of the glasses, broken down glasses, and a lot of things have not been removed. I think they were waiting for the police to come and action that report and see for themselves the malicious damage that has been done to the party secretariat. Like we stated, that the actions by Mr. Mao Sampa were illegal, were malicious, will take both administrative and criminal punitive actions, because as a member of the party, and as a party, we are trying to rebrand, rebuild ourselves, abandon those things that were done in the past. As you heard from our youths, they've stated that the gate was locked But these violent cadres carrying pangas, imingwala, ututemo, access, they said we can't be part of this violence. And you did very well. That no life was lost, that you escaped from the injury that could have been caused. That's what they wanted. They wanted there to be a clash and lives to be lost, and it was going to be blamed on the PF. So you did very well, because all the actions were totally criminal. So I would like to applaud you that you just left the premises to protect life and to protect the property. So those that intruded on the property, that came, and trespassed on the property and caused this malicious damage, must be held accountable. And to the media, someone is calling himself interim president. Someone is calling himself that he has taken over the party. You cannot suspend the party constitution. If it was a state matter, that's what we call treason. You'll be arrested, and the penalty is death for treason. So you can't have an individual come with UPND members and claim that he's now interim president. You can't outlaw the constitution. You can't abolish the party structures that were elected by our people. The bulk of members of the Central Committee were elected in 2021. There are few new members like myself, like even Mao Sampa, who was appointed by Honorable Given Luwinda. If Honorable Given Luwinda's action were illegal, vamusalile Mao Sampa ngarika anati awe acting president amkweta maka teti munsalenga member of the Central Committee.
So that is about the damage that was caused at the PF Secretariat on Friday. Now let's move on and get into the next story. The story that is next says Independent Petaoke Central Member of Parliament, Emmanuel J. Banda, has called on President Hakainde Hichilema to ensure that police adhere to his advice to thoroughly investigate before instigating any arrests. Now, Mr. Banda, who is also Chief Whip for independent MPs in Parliament, says the President must ensure that people he appointed adhere to his policies. He charged that it is unfortunate that the police have continued to arrest and detain people without doing their investigations. Mr. Banda says said this when he and other independent members of Parliament escorted Nkana Member of Parliament Benwe Mpundu, who was summoned by police for questioning.
Today we are here in Kitwe Central Police, where we have escorted our independent member, Honorable Benwe Mpundu, who is appearing for questioning. He is appearing for questioning. So as independents and other MPs, regardless of political affiliation, they are here today to give solidarity to our friends, so that we hear why is caught. So that's why we are here.
What are your reactions looking at the way things are? Will we be detained?
Yeah, for us, I'm sure you have seen a lot of politicians when they go, they are being detained. So for us, we are here, we are ready. We have seen that the Member of Parliament from Nkana is ready for anything, because the way things are now, it's to be ready for anything, because it's like the President is giving certain direction, and then the people he appointed, they are also giving certain direction. Because you see, the President said that when you detain someone, you make sure you investigate. Then after investigate, so that immediately that person is detained, he should be given a police bond. But you have seen a week ago, our comrade Honorable Munia, who is also independent, was detained at Chilenge police station and was detained for 2 days. He wasn't given police bond there and then. And then to make matters worse, right now the President came to Parliament, and then we are giving, we are debating the presidential speech. So now what are we going to debate? Because the President says that there's rule of law. But is this rule of law whereby when someone appears, then someone is being detained maybe for more than 48 hours. It's not good. So I'm sure the president, when he always comes to parliament to update the nation, to open parliament, I'm sure he should also try to check his people he appointed. Are they really following his roadmap? Because as far as we are concerned, we have seen that the people the president he appointed, they are not following the roadmap, his roadmap. Because here, he was in parliament that other Friday, said that there will be rule of law and the immediate one is detained, will be given a police bond, because which means investigation has gone already. But here now, other cases, we have seen Honorable Mnea Zulu was detained. That's when now they started investigation. So he was kept for more than 48 hours.
Thank you very much. You are still watching the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV, and this is now the time that we get into that interview, and we are privileged this afternoon to have the Lusaka teachers, and we do have the Lusaka art teachers, and we do have the chairperson for this particular organization, and his name's Mr. Selei Dek, who is going to help us understand and discuss the issue of the art exhibition that will be held very soon in Lusaka, at the Lusaka Museum, just to get the understanding of this particular event. So, Mr. Selei, thank you very much for making it to Camnet TV. Welcome to the Lunch Cafe.
Thank you so much.
First things first, let's start with the Lusaka art teachers. What is this art teachers about?
Well, we are teachers that are employed by the Ministry of Education, and we have been trained mostly by Evelyn Horn College and some other universities like Open University. So we decided to come together and try to showcase our talents that we have acquired over the years. So we are only about 20 to start with, then later on we will roll out to other places.
What was the main objective behind the formation or behind the coming together of these 20 teachers?
Well, when you look at in life, there are always these opportunities that come forward. So in this situation, we have seen what our leaders are talking about, and we felt that this is our time now as art teachers to be able to, we think the time is right for us to be able to showcase our talents and be able to empower ourselves economically.
Now, tell us about the exhibition. What is this exhibition about?
The exhibition is, like we said, the art teachers. As art teachers, we thought maybe this is our time that we can be able to showcase these talents. But we are showcasing quite a lot of artworks. We have sculptures, we have ceramics, we have creative use of media, and we have a lot of paintings that we are exhibiting. And some of them are on sale, some of them are not on sale.
Now, whose artworks are these? Is it only you, the art teachers, or is it open to other artists that feel they need to come and participate in this particular exhibition? And is there any fee attached to that?
That is right. We are not charging anything as at now. It's free of charge. And right now it's only open to about 20 art teachers, that is. But we said no, we also need to try and look at the people we influence, the children. We have children that are also exhibiting. These are school-going children. We have a child who is as small as 6 years, who has brought a painting. There's also another boy who is about 11, and others from other schools. Then we also have a few artists from the community, and we also have students from Evelyn Horn College. We have about 3 art teachers, those that we have interacted when they were doing their practice. So they are also coming to exhibit.
So this particular exhibition, who have you worked with in order to come up with this exhibition?
Okay, we have sponsors like Plascon, who gave us some paints. We also have the National Museum, which are hosting us. They are partners in this exhibition. We are also expecting the unions to come in, who are the union for the teachers. We are also expecting some banks to come in. They haven't responded, but right now those are the main sponsors.
So I hear you say there are children that are coming, there are other artists that are coming, and also what apart from sculptures and other paintings, what other form of artworks do we expect to see at this exhibition?
We have an artist who is good at turning shoes that may be discarded, but she turns them into new clothes. But what she does is she adds a certain material to it and make them look new. We also have somebody who is doing jewelry. Yeah, those are some of the features there, apart from the paintings and the sculptures.
So when is this particular exhibition, and who is invited to come and pass through?
All right, it's starting on the 22nd. On the 22nd, it's the official opening. There we are only accepting the people that we have invited, the guests that we have invited. But thereafter, on Saturday, that's when it will be open to the public.
Now, the theme of this particular exhibition is harnessing visual creativity for economic empowerment. What were you going through? How did you come up with this particular theme?
Yes, as you know, every human being is creative in one way or another. Every human being is an artist in one way or another. But you need somebody to bring it out. So we thought that we should be able to use these hidden talents, we bring them out, and so that people can become, can use it to empower the families, the schools, wherever they are. So it's this art that we want to bring out.
Okay. Now, your industry, do you feel that this is something that somebody can explore to earn a living out of it? How would you describe this industry, especially here in Zambia? We know that outside the country there are paintings that cost millions and millions of dollars.
Yes. This industry is a very big industry. To me, I say it can be a game changer for this country. Because what you need is just investment. The moment that you begin to invest more into it, believe me, it can be able to change the economy of this country. As art teachers, we believe the beginning step is what we have started just now.
Now, how do you think this particular industry can change the economy? Which direction should we take as a country in order to maximize the benefits of this particular industry?
The beginning point is what we have started just now. I know that there are other organizations that are promoting art, but we thought maybe as art teachers, we sort of had to lay back for a long time. But this time around, we saw that there is a giant that has been sleeping for a long time. So what we need to do is begin to invest in schools. We need to invest more in schools. We need to invest more in galleries. We need to invest more in the human resource. Then we'll be able to generate even more. Like you said, yes, there are so countries that we have seen that people actually make millions and millions of dollars out of this. Even Zambia, we can do it. We have started. I know we will get there one day.
Now, do you feel that the countries are taking this particular industry with the seriousness that it deserves?
Well, Probably we are getting there. Slowly we are getting there. I remember when I was starting as a child, would be able to see people would just look at your work and they'll say, nice, it's very nice, give it to me. And they would want to end there. But this time, we have seen that people are putting value, more value to the art. I think we are getting there.
Okay. Now, what would you suggest be done in order to encourage, especially the young ones, take up art?
Well, I think let us start from the home. Every home should have an artwork. Every office should have an artwork. Every hotel, every lodge, there must be an artwork. Because without an artwork, people will not take you seriously. So let's begin from the home. Let's begin to show our children to appreciate art more. Then we'll get there.
Now, how does this industry work? You did mention that hotels and lodges must have artworks. Do you feel that these lodges and hotels are paying enough to the artists that come up with these works that we see displayed in these institutions?
Well, some do, some don't. We've seen people being exploited, but with the moment that we begin to put value like we have started now, I think we'll be able to be taken seriously and people will pay according to the works that they are seeing.
When you say you see people being exploited, is there a, what measure do you use in order to sell your artworks? For example, let's say a portrait. Is there a uniform cost in this industry to say a portrait should not cost anything less than 5,000 kwacha?
Right now, we don't have a uniform, and I don't think there's any place where there's a uniform way of pricing. But there are various ways that we look at this. We look at the material that has been used. We look at the artist himself, and sometimes even the places that you market your products from. If you are just going to market your product on the street, people will not take you seriously, and mostly those are the ones that are being exploited. But as art teachers, we are saying, let's come together, let's go maybe into a hotel, or like we are doing with the museum now, then we'll be able, we won't be exploited, we'll be able to gain more of the value of the things that we are making.
I know that you are just 20 for now, but what is the vision of this particular organization? What do you want to do for this industry?
All right. What we want is probably next year, God willing, we want to sort of have a workshop for as many artists as possible, where we'll be able to produce the artworks and be able to exhibit them. But apart from that, we want to roll it out into other provinces. Like we have said, we are only 20, but in the last 2 weeks, we have received overwhelming response from the other artists who said, why have you left us out? We said, well, this is the beginning. Next year, it will be something bigger. We want this thing to be as big as possible. We want in future to be able to go out of the country and go and exhibit outside the country.
Now, when you say other artists, which artists are these? Are these teachers or pupils or just general artists from around the country?
Well, like I said earlier on, most of us were trained by Evelyn Horn. Others opted to go outside the teaching. But they are still art teachers. So even those want to come. There are also art teachers who are not part of the 20. They also want to come on board.
Is there do you have a body that regulates this industry here in Zambia?
Yes, we have the National Arts Council, who are also part of this. We also have the Visual Art Council, who are also part of this. As art teachers, we have ITAS, Expressive Arts Teachers Association. Those also help us.
Okay, so now as this Lusaka Arts, how are you working with ITAS, Visual Arts and National Arts Council?
Well, you cannot do anything as art teachers, you cannot organize anything without the Visual Art Council knowing about it. So we have to go through the Visual Art Council and they have to endorse. Then we have to go to the National Arts Council, who have also endorsed this exhibition, and they are coming to officiate.
So these 20 teachers, are they only from Lusaka, or maybe there are others that have come from outside the district that you are working with?
Like I said, we are within Lusaka, so it's only Lusaka art teachers for now.
Okay, so what is the highlight of this exhibition? What should people look out for as they come on Saturday to come and see what you'll be exhibiting?
You are going to see the best of art in Lusaka from the teachers. Come and buy the paintings, come and buy the sculptures, any artwork that you like, you will definitely find it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, for example, how much can a piece of art cost at this particular exhibition? How much should I carry in my wallet as I come through?
The money issue. Well, I think it ranges. It can go as low as 10 kwacha to as high as about 50,000, depending on the size and the artist that has made that work. So there's everything for everyone.
Do we see anything in the near future? Do we see anything to do only with the pupils that are doing art?
Well, I can't disclose that for now, but I think it's in the pipeline.
As we come to the end of this interview, Mr. Saleh, what are your concluding remarks, and what is your word of appeal to the corporate world? I know you did mention that you're still looking for support to help you successfully host this particular exhibition.
Yes. To you, the sponsors, or should I say those who would like to sponsor this program, this is a serious one. I want you to take us seriously as artists. You are free to come and sponsor. We still need to do banners, we still need to do flyers, and so many other things that we need. Art is something that can change the economy of this country. We have had situations where countries have gone down in terms of economically, and they have sold their artworks, and the economy has been resuscitated. Who knows, we might just go there. My appeal is to you, the person who owns a lodge, the person who owns an office, the person who owns any business, any home. You need to have an artwork. That artwork is going to show how serious you are. Even clients, when they walk into your office, they find that the walls are very blank. They will never take you serious. But the moment that you put an artwork, a painting there, people will see how serious you are. I urge you to come to our exhibition this weekend and be able to support the artists. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saleh, for making it on Camnet Lunch Cafe.
Thank you so much. We are excited.
We have been talking to the chairperson of the Lusaka Art Teachers who will be holding an art exhibition this weekend at the Lusaka Museum. So do make sure that you pass through to go and see what will be at that particular venue on the mentioned dates. Now on that note, we take another short break, and when we come back, we continue with the program.
It's time! Camnet TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamanga, as I get to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 17. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel. Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel music.
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power through.
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. So that was the Lusaka Arts Teachers talking to us about the art exhibition to be held this weekend at the Lusaka Museum. So do make sure that you pass through at the Lusaka Museum this weekend so that you make sure you see what the art teachers have and what pieces of art we have from the art teachers here in Lusaka. And of course, some pupils, as he did mention, there is a 6-year-old child who is bringing a painting, interestingly so do make sure that you do pass through just to ensure that you enjoy the pieces of art that will be exhibited at that particular venue. Now let's quickly have a look at some of the happenings during the weekend as regards the world of sports. Very interesting results coming out of the weekend. We start with the Confederations Cup, where we did see the much supported Muza, FC Muza, going down to the Debonairs of the Congo by 2-1. Unfortunate result there coming in from the Heroes Stadium, and we do hope that Muza will overturn the tables when they travel to Congo Brazzaville, and we do all know that that won't be an easy undertaking, but the coach is hopeful that they will overturn the tables when they travel to Congo. So that is about the game that was played in that particular competition. That we did also have another game in the Champions League, CAF Champions League, where Power Dynamos were hosting Tanzanian Giants, Simba SC, on the Copper Belt. Unfortunately, also Power Dynamos couldn't pick up a win in that particular game. They drew 2-0 with Zambian international Cletus Chamachota getting the 2 goals for Simba and making sure that Power do face an uphill battle as they travel to Tanzania to go and play a return fixture of that particular match. So those are the results in the Confederations Cup, and of course the CAF Champions League that were played over the weekend. But we did have also a number of games played in the local league. Red Arrows was taking on Trident, and they emerged victorious by beating Trident by 2-0. Buffaloes and Nkwazi locked horns. They drew 2-0 in a very interesting match that is slowly turning into a very interesting local derby as the soldiers take on the police officers in that particular encounter. So we did have quite a number of other games that were played in the local league, but let's quickly rush to the English Premier League. Also, we did have interesting results coming in from that particular league. We did see Manchester United go down, beaten 3-1 by Brighton. Interesting result there, and we hoping that people have gotten over that particular result and eager and energetic to face the week as we start a new week this particular week. Another result, interesting result that came in from the weekend. Arsenal were victorious in the game they played over the weekend, and also Manchester City did record a win in their game. So it means Manchester City have gone without a loss and they are on 15 points. Arsenal also is in the second position with 15 points and 13 points, and there are about 4 teams that are on 13 points. So it is interesting to see how the English Premier League will pan out as we move on. Another interesting fixture was from Spain, where Barcelona recorded a 5-0 win over Real Betis. Interestingly so, another game was played yesterday between Real Madrid and, of course, which is team is this, where Real Madrid managed to pick up a 2-1 lead. Real Sociedad, and it was very interesting to see Real Madrid come back from a 1-goal down to register that particular victory. Also, Sevilla did record a win. Sergio Ramos returning to his boyhood club and made a debut yesterday. He played the 90 minutes and they were victorious. They won that particular game. Now, moving on, interestingly, there are quite a number of interesting developments, especially in the world of women's football. The league opened over the weekend. Interesting results coming through there. But let's talk about the national team. As you may be aware, they will be playing 2 friendly games against Morocco. And the coach has announced his squad of players that he wants to see participate in that particular international friendly game. And there are quite a number of interesting omissions. Let's look at the team. However, goalkeepers, we have Catherine Musonda from Timiris Turan in Kazakhstan, and Eunice Sakala from Nkwazi, and not forgetting Letitia Lungu from Zesco and Dola Girls. Now, defenders, we have Pauline Zulu, Elite Ladies, Martha Tembo, BIIK Kazugat in Kazakhstan, Esther Siamfuko, Lishomo Mwemba, Esther Banda, all of Green Buffaloes, and we also have Mary Mlenga from Leda Rose and Vasti Piri from Ndola, Nzesco Ndola Girls, and Jacqueline Nkole from Indeni Roses. So you see that that particular defense does not have Margaret Belomu, and it also does not have Agnes Musesa. Moving on, let's get to the midfield. We see that we do have Helen Chanda from Teki, Hakari Guchu, and also Irene Lungu from BIAK Karisgad in Kazakhstan. We do have Evelyn Susan Musonda Katongorada from Zeda ISD, and Mary Wilombe and Susan Banda from Red Arrows, Avel Chitundu from Zesco Ndola Girls, and Comfort Selemani from the Elite Ladies. So another interesting team there. Strikers, we do have Otumba Oseke Lubanji from Red Arrows, Helen Mwanga from Zaragoza CFF Spain, Rachel Kundananji from Madrid CFF Spain, and Barbara Banda from Shanghai Shengli in China, and of course Natasha Nanyangwe from Green Buffalo. So those are the players that we expect to take part in the friendly match between Zambia and Morocco that is coming up shortly this month, on the 22nd and on the 26th of September this particular month in Rabat, Morocco. So those are the players that you do expect to see in that particular game. So that is about it. That's all we do. We did have for you on this particular program. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow as we bring to you another interesting program. On behalf of the entire production team, have a blessed afternoon.